Okay, welcome. We are now back. If you wonder why I say we're now back, this is my second stream of February 28th, 2019. If you were with me just about a half hour ago, you would have seen me finishing this symbiote Spider-Man taking over the web-headed Peter Parker Spider-Man, which occurred in Secret Wars number 8. If you haven't seen it, you can go back one episode to episode 14 in this playlist. I need to probably change or put, it'll be on the thumbnail, so you'll see that when I get a chance to do it. So now, next up is the Red Skull, and at the last minute, I did decide, because it wasn't in the initial sketch, but with the Red Skull, uh, I think Marvel and DC, and it is a good thing, I think, that they did, and it kind of, that they didn't want their characters, even the villains, smoking anymore. But I do kind of think when it comes to the Red Skull, there's something about that little cigarette, or I could have even went with a cigar, I suppose. But it just adds a little bit to who he originally, back in the day, I remember him being drawn with this really big, I forget who. Oh, no, I don't. Buscema did a copy of, it's one of my favorite issues of Captain America. I believe it's number 114 or 15, with the cosmic cube in it. And he gave the Red Skull this nice cigarette holder, and just so he could, it's really a great acting tool. When the character's smoking and they wave it around and kind of use it as a just a prop, but it really comes off well. So I did kind of enjoy having that quick break in between. Even though it wasn't a lot, it still gave me enough time to get a few things handled without having to just jump out of the stream and go do stuff. So far, for me at least, this format may be the one that's going to work very well for these drawings. And these drawings are only available when I offer them through a sketch shop, through my online store. I don't do this at a convention. I don't plan on doing it. So only way to get them is through my online store when they're available. Welcome back, Ken. Yeah, I agree. Like I was just saying, I kind of like it myself. It's got a lot of benefits, both for, I think, myself and the viewers too. And especially the viewers who aren't watching live, that want to just, kind of cherry pick or watch what they, So maybe it's a good move on my part that I decided to kind of move this direction. So I'm glad you kind of agree with what I'm thinking. I always say, well, not always. let me rephrase that because I'll get called out on it. But I sometimes say, you got to try new things to see what the results are. And like I said, for me, I don't have when I'm doing these, if I'm going, let's say 3 hours, I don't have the luxury to get up and stretch. I kind of do, but I kind of feel like that type of option is not the best in a sense. So anyway, long story short, I'm glad you kind of see you see it too, that it's probably going to be a benefit to everybody, not just myself. Anyway, onward. My next appearance will be March 15th, 16th, and 17th at the Toronto Comic Con in Canada. And that's coming up in a couple weeks. And yes, Mr. Zek will be there. And let's see, I did that show in, I want to say 2016. So it's been good 3 years since I've been back. And before I did it in 2016, it had been 30 years since I'd been to Toronto. So quite a long time. Well, Thursday at noon does seem to be a quiet time for streaming. I will say that so far. But hopefully, the views will pick up on the replay once it's all said and done, and maybe people are out to lunch. I do keep for what it's worth, and I can go to it anytime. I do kind of try to keep a mental diary in my head about times. I really thought about playing with a later night so I could get some West Coast uh, people to tune in. The only problem I have with that is it seems like I am so used to getting up so early. Number one, it kind of wrecks that big time. But the few times that I've went late, I don't know if it's really gained me any extra views. I know there's a lot on YouTube, lot to lot to lot to look at. I look at it myself, so I know there's a lot of it. I have a lot of things that I am subscribed to and have notifications for, and I try to at least work all of those in, but it's really tough. But I do hope that those of you who take time to watch, enjoy, and learn, and have a good time. And I appreciate your views very much. I think right now, if memory serves me correctly, the highest viewed video I have yet is 300 views, which in the world of YouTube is nothing, but in the world of what I am working towards and what I'm doing, uh, that's fairly good for me right now as I try to build more viewership, more subscribers, and experiment with different formats, different times, that's why I cut these up. I figured it would be more convenient for everybody involved, myself and the viewer. A little more relaxing, maybe too, just for the fact that on my end, I'm kind of one and done, and I could stretch my break to an hour and get more done, or you know, I could do 3 a day and spread them out even further. I just really wanted and needed to get these two that I had drawn sitting here done. Um, so that's why I kind of put them close together. Just matter of factly had to get them done, get these done, so I can move forward with not only the remainder of the ones that I took, but try to get back at least equal with my schedule that I have. So we'll get there. No problem. Just might take a few more days, but things will work its way out. I actually would love to be doing these nice uh, folds in the Red Skull's kind of jumpsuit thing that he wears with a much bigger brush. Not a flat one though. I would like to use a round, which is what this is. This is a number 3. I would like to have something like, oh, number 6 or number 8, because you can really get that nice flow of fabric with nice, like one big loaded up stroke. Not too loaded with ink, but you kind of um, once you get into it, you feel you can feel how much you feel comfortable with ink wise. Hey, Dr. Kaz, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome back. Welcome back. No, I won't sing the show tune to Welcome Back, Cotter. But it might get stuck in my head now. There's always the risk of that. It was. Uh, it was. A, it was one of those shows at the time was just right for it. I think. I think Gabe Kaplan was. Uh, I don't know. He seemed very personable as a celeb during that period. I guess. I mean, I didn't know much about it. I was can't remember the years, but I know I was in my early teens. So, but I remember enjoying the show. Um, and yeah, the theme song that was Randy Newman, wasn't it? Dr. Kaz, I think it was Randy Newman. Seems to me like when I hear that song, I recognize his voice. And I tend to remember that it seemed like everything in the late 90s, or no, I'm sorry, late 80s, I meant to say, to somewhere in the early 90s in the movies was Kenny Loggins. it's, like, it's like he seemed to have the movie songs locked down, or at least a lot of them. Maybe I'm just thinking of the Top Gun thing because that kind of, I think, was his big breaking point into that genre. What was your first choice for a sketch, Ken? Wasn't it a Two-Face, if I remember correctly? I think that's what I'm remembering, but the only if you want to give me a second choice, you can. I got no problem with Two-Face. The only thing you might want to do is if you have a favorite version of him, and don't tell me like what's his name, the guy from the TV show, because don't really do likenesses. Frank Gorshin. But if you prefer like the Derby, like the animated, I'm good with that. And if you prefer the more traditional, uh, what? Well, it's a headshot, so you're not going to get a lot of body. Um, Mask and hair, I think. So yeah, if you have a version, um, and that's version, not adversion. But if you have a version you like, that that always helps. And you can email that to me if you want, just as a friendly reminder. You can put it here in the chat too. I'm just saying it, it could be forgotten if it's only in the chat, but usually I'm pretty good about remembering. Yeah, you had mentioned flipping the coin. I could probably put that in. John Sebastian did Welcome Back. Kenny Loggins songs were a great time. Yep. Like I said, Doc or Ken, sorry. I'm, uh, I see two K's when I'm looking there. Um, if you have a favorite version of a Two-Face, or wait a minute, why was I thinking Riddler? There isn't. I mean, if you like the Bruce Timm, which I kind of do, I did one before where he's got like and I'll probably do simple hair on his crazy side and some texture. But it's always good to for me to have a starting point, especially on a character that's, if you really are looking for a specific version. Um, let's say you absolutely hate the Bruce Timm black and white, white and black reverse, and I give that to you, then that may not be. So it's fine to ask for a version. Or there's always the just do what I think is best. And then, I just do that. Why was I thinking the Riddler? That must have confused you to death. I'm sitting here talking about the Derby. Well, I guess that kind of stuff happens too. Okay, you like Bruce Timm? Yeah, me too. Juggernaut? Juggernaut's fine too. He's got that big bullet head. Um, but that thing can be scratched up. I kind of know what you're thinking. Or I kind of get the main idea of what you might be thinking as far as the battle scarred. Yeah, isn't that true? Ken have senior moments. It's like I'm like, oh yeah, I know the character you want, Two Face, and then I go into, hey, you like that Derby, and then that's where the wheels fall off. That's where my wheels fell off. I somehow went into the Riddler. Juggernaut. Maybe cut a bit on the face with some blood. I love the blood on the vampire Batman. Okay. All right. Do you want to email me that, Ken? Because that's a little more involved than just which costume, and I'll put that in the memory bank. Email will definitely help. All right. Appreciate that. Actually, if you haven't done it yet, I think you can use the email you got from Big Cartel with your order. That would be the way to do it, because then I can see your original choice. Or I don't know if you put one in, but it would at least it would kind of flag me a little bit more on that. So if you haven't already written it and sent it, go ahead and do it that way. That would be mucho appreciated. Perfect. Perfect. There it is. It just came across my phone, so I have received the request. Hey Ken, did you because it was one of my favorite ones. Did you see the Rhino drawing that I did for Ron by any chance? It was an evening one. One of the, I think, a Friday night stream. So I'm trying to remember what was done on the I tried to, and that was the other thing is I was trying for the more, excuse me, popular characters on the thumbnails before, but now just each character will get their thumbnail, which is kind of cool. Um, that's what it made me think of the Juggernaut because he was a big, the Rhino was that big bulky guy too, and I had so much fun with that, just being able to kind of cartoon it. You know what I mean? Like really exaggerate his nose, giving that. I gave him like a little. I don't want to say a hook nose, but it was definitely, you know, it was not a like a Captain America nose, a nice straight, handsome nose. It was, and he had the mouth wide open with crooked teeth, and that was extremely fun. I have to admit that at first I was like, Rhino, and then once I got into it, it was, a lot of fun. Yeah, I like this stuff Ryan's been doing on the sketch covers. I think I follow him on Instagram, and I see those, and uh, they're fun to look at. Hey, Jason. Ken, 10-4 on the red splatter. That can be done. Welcome back, Jason. Mm, 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 mm. That one's going to be dry in just a second, and it's going to take a little bit of white splatter. I am going to try to concentrate most of it around the smoke area. We'll see how we can do on that. A little bit can go in the forehead and stuff. That's fine. I kind of like it where it breaks up the dark areas, lets a little bit of, you know, dust particle light in. This all should be pretty much dry. And of course, you know the signature is going to go up here already. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but that was my plan in drawing this. Sometimes I do have a plan where my signature is going to go. Sometimes I have to find a spot. Da, 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 da. Okay, so I can pull off a little piece of this eraser again. Whoops. And let the drawing fall down. Excuse me. Got a little something in my throat there. Gonna take a drink of water and put the chat on mute for a minute so I can clear that up. Okay, hopefully that is much better. Oh, thanks, Jason. Let me show you something. I found these at Michael's, 6x8. Uh, it's their studio decor basics. They are $5 a piece. You can probably get them on sale. They've got a little a little pull-out thing if you want to do it that way. If you want to set it, you know, on a desk. But then I believe these little things, also these little things here, are not only to secure the drawing in, but they're also like a little hook. So if you want to hang them on the wall. So yeah, $5. I think $4.99. Yeah, actually they're bigger than I thought, but they're perfect. Because when I looked at this, I was like, "Am I drawing that big?" I thought the sketches were a little bit smaller. I was thinking more of like a 4x6, and then I went over to their pads of paper and got the ones that I'm using, and sure enough, 6x8. So you might lose a little bit of drawing on the edge, but for the most part, I think they're gonna. I need to put one in myself so I can just display it. That's why I got these, but I just haven't had a chance to do it. I have some drawings left that I'm going to watercolor and bring to a convention with me for sale, and I'm going to use the frame as a display. So yeah, if you have a Michaels craft store or even online, just like I said, it's their studio decor. Uh, I think they're made for Michaels exclusively. That's why I'm giving you that. I'm trying to see if there is I don't know which of this would be the skew. Um, but you should be able to, if you don't have one locally, find it online and use the coupons. Um, because I subscribe to their mailing list and I get coupons all the time for like one item. You always get the one item per week, 40%, and on the receipt, you can go back the next day and get another item 40% off. Or sometimes something comes in at 60% off, which is a real nice bargain. Okay, it's throwing a little over. It's curving on me a little bit. So I'm going to curve the papiera. That's my French. Gonna try to follow the smoke up a little bit, and if a little bit goes over there, I'm not concerned with it. It's just extra cigarette dust. Now I'm gonna go ahead and purposely get over into this area and into his forehead just to break it up a little bit. I don't want to break it up too much though. Not like I'm doing a Thanos where I need a real spacey background. Right? Right. But I kind of want the ashes from the smoke to there. I think if I can get a little bit here, I'll be happy. There. I'm happy. I hope that I believe it was it Richard? Let me look at my book who's getting this. I hope that he's happy with it also. Pew pew pew. That's right. Got to get the sound effect going. So let's see. I need to actually. Where did my pen go? I was writing somewhere. I need to check all of these off because those are done. Go to the next page. Christina's done. Oh, Brandon. That's who got this one. Brandon. All right, so that's done and that's done. The next three coming up will be a spawn, a spirit, the Will Eisner spirit, and a deathlock. So I got those three to do. Then I'm on to the round 2, and then I'll go on to round 3, which I was supposed to start Monday. I had a few issues that I ran into, so it'll be close. I'll try to make up some time somewhere. As you all know, I stream these, so you get to see them. And when you get your piece, you'll have the actual creation of it. So, good deal. Thank you all for coming out. And if you enjoyed the show, when you leave, if you give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. For those of you who are watching this on a replay, if this is your first time here and you're not a subscriber, you like the content, please consider subscribing. It's free. There will be a little notification bell. You can hit that so you'll know when I'm streaming live again. If I'm not at a convention, I usually stream about 3 times a week. Sometimes I've been known to stream 3 times in a day. But anyway, for today, that will be it. I don't plan on doing anything else. I have a job that has to be completed by tomorrow, and I'd really like to get it as far to finish today, so that I don't have to work a ton on it tomorrow, so that I can get back to these head sketches and get them drawn out and ready for inking, so I can do another live stream. Maybe Friday night, I'm thinking. Dr. Kaz, thank you as usual, sir. I appreciate you dropping in and making time. Everybody else, thank you. Much appreciated for sharing your day and time with me as I create these drawings. So yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm gonna say goodbye now because it's time I got lunch and got to work on my next project. I will see you all probably tomorrow. Thank you, Jason, and thanks, Ken. Uh, Anybody else that I missed, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and that's it. I'm gone for now. Be safe. Take care today, and we'll definitely see you soon.